Region. Talk about Ghana, fixing our relations, how we intend to sustain peace in conflict-prone areas, so that all around us, the ties here and there. Burkina Faso, a bit of hiccups in Ivory Coast. All around. Looks like we're the safest haven, if you will. Talk about the need to regulate religious activities as well. I've been joined in studio by His Excellency Ambassador Bishop Samuel Ben Owusu, United Nations Eminent Peace Ambassador, IAWAP Country Director, Special Envoy of the African Union Agenda 2063, Ambassadorial Assembly and Headmaster for the Pottersville, International Church. Is here, Ambassador, Pastor Ambassador, I should say that, right? Good morning, how you doing?
Good morning.
And how does it feel to be an ambassador now, away from the pulpit,
right,
during the weekend,
right,
and back on Sunday? How does it feel?
It feels very great, very, very great and inspiring, and also it also connect with my understanding of being a minister, that the ministry is not just on pulpit, but beyond pulpit. Sometimes the pulpit, is big enough to reach the whole world, but not everybody will listen to you. So God, I believe that give us this access so that we'll be able to explore a lot of things within us. Because as pastors, we are supposed to be socialists. We are supposed to be interested in the development of our people.
Right.
Not just because of the people that only come to our church, but every human being should be part of your message and your assignment. And that's what I saw Jesus did. He was not limited to the church. He only goes to church sometime, but most of the time you see Jesus affecting people in the street. So I believe that it's time that pastors have to also understand that we need to get into the people and help the people. We stand between the people and also God and things like that, not just for our members. Yeah, so I feel very great.
I see. How did you come by this new role?
If I say I came, then it means that maybe I worked it myself. But it's number one, I would say is by grace. Number two is also by hard work and other people that have been observing us for a while. Some of this appointment doesn't come by yourself. You don't appoint yourself. You have to be working somewhere, and whilst you're working somewhere, little will you even know that there are people that are observing you for years and time and things like that. So over the years, for the past 5 years, I've been working with AWPA, International Association of World Peace, which is an United Nations ECOSOC granted organization, and being the peace ambassador and also Ghana country director for Ghana. I think that the African Union has also been monitoring me and also been watching and following all the impacts that we've been doing over the time, and that led to that. I didn't apply. It's not something that I applied for.
Some work you have done in the past.
Yes. So I was nominated, and
What responsibility does this role place on you regarding, for example, how well Ghana is placed as considered as a safe haven, and now you have all the trouble around us, coup leaders here and there, people seeking to take over. What responsibility does it place on you?
One of the things that we must understand is that when you are fine, you are not fine. When it looks like you are okay. When it looks like you are okay, I think that is the most difficult aspect of life.
Right.
When somebody is in trouble, everybody knows that you are in trouble. You need help.
That's right.
But when it looks like you don't need help, that is where you actually need help. And that's where security is very important. That's why where you need to really put things in order, because anything can happen and you lose it in a minute. So Ghana, looking like a safe haven, actually is not safe at all. Because if you look around and you see all the, the attacks going on within the system and around us, it really points to us that we may have a problem, because every other thing, we are the receivers. We receive the problems, we receive the issues, we receive the refugees, we receive the attacks, we receive everything. So it places a very high responsibility on me to speak more to our governors, to stakeholders, and to let us know that no, we need to do well so much to the extent that if anything happens, we will not have to, be beggars and things like that. Because right now, especially when you look at African terrain system that we have and our development system, we always wait for something to happen before we look for solution. Look at what is happening in Iran and Israel right
Tel
now.
Aviv,
Whilst I was coming, I was thinking and I was writing something. Imagine some of this bomb just enter. Sorry to say, I'm a prophet. God forbid. How prepared are we? It looks like we think we are okay, but we are actually not okay when we don't have an excess of everything. We are living in a scarcity season, a time of emptiness, where we don't have enough of money, we don't have enough of fuel, we don't have enough of light, we don't have enough of health stuff to deal with anything that happened. Look at COVID. When COVID happened, we were hit down. Thank God for this, for African continent, the land of Africa, that at least it helped us small, that we are not this. But if anything happened to us, are we prepared enough to be able to? I think that this is my course, this is my assignment. I want to push the agenda so much to the extent that the 50 years agenda of the AU should be, enforced. That we don't need to wait for the 50 years. We need to start having enough here. America have enough gold more than Ghana. UK have enough gold more than Ghana, but they don't have a gold mine in America, or maybe more as we have in Africa here. In UK, how many gold mines are in UK that they have gold than us? How many gold mines are in France that they have gold more than us? We are selling everything and we don't reserve things. Do we even have a national, reservoir center of reserving plants? Corn, maize, animals, goat. Do we even have a reserving system? I don't know if you are journalists. Maybe if we have such a huge gold reservoir system that we reserve things that if anything happened to Africa, we'll be able to rise. Or Ghana, even food. How many food that do we have? To the extent that the past governance and things like that, there was a hit. We have to seek food from other countries around us and things like that. This is a problem for Africa. We don't think, sorry to say, we think about the future, but we don't plan.
What specific mandate were you given when you were giving this title?
As a special envoy, to also to promote the agenda, to advocate about it, to mobilize people, media people like you people, to let people know the agenda of the African Union, and also to become like a liaison within the government and the stakeholders, what we ought to do for the African we want. The African we want have been laid down. We want to have a prosperous Africa. We want to have an integrated Africa. We want to have a peaceful Africa. If this is the three major vision that we want to have, and we have curved the framework, that this is the line we want to, in the next 50 years, we want to have Africa without borders, we want to have Africa without this, I want to have this, we want to have this. My job is to speak about it, to talk to the extent that everybody will get to know the knowledge, from the youth, from the young people, from the media, from the traditional rulers. I need to speak to people. I need to tell people that everybody must be involved. We must all put our hands involved in this. Religious people, pastors need to come on board. Traditional rulers need to come on board. Everybody must be involved in making Africa the best place for us. For over the years, We have these people coming in. What actually? They have done well. They brought us education. But the rest is up to us. If the foundation has already been made for us, it is easy for us to develop. But the problem is, after the foundation has been given to us, we are still depending on them to come and build the rest for us.
What would you say to those who say you don't sound like a diplomat? Because diplomats are usually reserved. They don't like to get into some of these. We need to do this for ourselves. We need to do that for ourselves.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I say to that because they didn't want somebody that is so reserved. They have watched how how loud I am, and then they have seen that the platform, if they give it to me, I'll be able to make it happen, because we have been quiet for a long time. We have been reserved for a long time. Being reserved and keeping it, oh no, little by little, that's why we are still where we are. A time has come that everybody must be involved in this project. Everybody must know. And you see, there is a level you get to if you don't shout, if you don't speak it, if you don't make it known to people, nobody will wake up to it. You understand? So the African Union is looking for people that have the platform,
is on 92.7,
that can speak their mind,
on 3FM.
that can speak truth to power, that can tell the stakeholders, those who we have given them the mandate and the power, that hey, we need to make sure that this thing work, or else we will sit down being diplomatic and quiet and gentle, and then nothing will happen. We had the Vision 2020, the Vision 10, 2023. What happened? There were no advocates. There were not promoters. There were not.
There were a few.
Few of them, but quiet, gentle, reserved, not talking. How can you be given a work as an envoy or as an ambassador to speak for the nation and you are quiet? If we checked France ambassador to Ghana in 2017, 2018, the lady, I've forgotten the woman, look at the impact she made between Ghana and France. She came in with a certain new dimension of ambassadorial exposure. Is that not so? She was a woman, I've forgotten the name.
Yes, that's correct.
From her time, Ghana and France were connected. So much to the extent that we start seeing even Ghanaian companies and organizations holding conferences and events in France.
But that's a political and economic appointment. Yours is not.
Yeah, it's not political.
So why are you meddling in those affairs? Why are you involving yourself in those affairs? Because I've been an ambassador for the U.S. Justice Support activity before, and we had to just keep on stay in our lane.
Yeah.
Why are you veering off into other lanes that are not part of your mandate?
I have not veered into another lane. I'm still on my lane, making sure that what have been given to me is made. This is what they told me to do. You need to speak for us. You need to do this, mobilize people, put people on their toes, let the government know that, hey, this is it. You understand me? You need to follow the Africa we want. There's a system that have been put together for us. This is it. Talk about it. Go to see them. Let them know that this is what we all want. We all sat down and we created a framework that we want to see Africa in the next 50 years in this manner. And then you are quiet. And then you forget about the mandate. No.
The African countries that have trouble, they have departed from democracy, and now you find a military government in power. How do you propose to sell this message to them when they have a different mindset? Because your organization is entirely a promoter of democracy.
Right.
How are you going to bridge that gap?
I think that there are people specifically being given the mandate to deal with that aspect. My work now is limited to Ghana. And Ghana, we don't have that problem right now.
Right.
My assignment in Ghana is to make sure we speak to make sure that the democracy we have here is maintained.
Right.
If I'm given that aspect to go and speak to them, maybe I'll be given the training and enough knowledge and revelation to be able to deal with that.
So
matter.
now your role is restricted to Ghana.
It's restricted to Ghana.
Okay.
I'm restricted to Ghana. So once I am restricted to Ghana, there are certain things diplomatically you are not allowed to talk about it in an open space like that. Maybe in a private way, I may be able to share my personal kind of views about some of these things. But in a public, system like this, while you have not been given the mandate over that jurisdiction, there is somebody who have been given mandate of that jurisdiction to be able to speak on that matter. And I think that we should allow them to be able to deal with those kind of things.
You are a church leader.
Right.
The churches have been fingered to be platforms that if you will, influence the minds of people. And you find some of the preachers and you cringe and you ask yourself, okay, so what's the essence of this message or sermon to the people?
Right.
How do you propose to rally the churches and to a greater extent regulate them so that their messages are synchronized to achieve what you want to achieve?
Right. Over the time, I have been proposing a lot of things because, like you're saying, even though it's very difficult to formalize churches and also have a fidelity of the doctrines that we preached, because everybody seemed to be given a different assignment and things like that. But no matter what, we can have a framework, we can have a system of leverage where we all understand that this is our purpose, this is our assignment, and this is what we all need to, propagate. And that comes to the disintegration factor of the church. If you look at the church in Ghana, we actually don't have a central system. We don't have a commission responsible for that. Even so, I would be proposing to the Minister of Religious and Chieftaincy Affairs and Traditional Rents and things like that. I will do very soon. I have done that proposal before this new government come, and I didn't hear anything about it, but I will follow up and do more this time. I have been calling for the National Commission of Christian Churches. So that all religious organization groups will come together to form, a one body. Because as it is now, we don't have a one body. We have the Christian Council, which is different. The Christian Council is made up of about few people. Orthodox churches. Then we have the Pentecostal and the Charismatic Council. Then we have the Charismatic Churches Council. Then we have the Seventh-day Adventist Churches Council. Then we have different kind of councils and things like that. We need to come to a place that we have a center core, we have a center connection with even government and with the people. So all these organization heads need to come together for us to be able to have a commission or an agency connected to a ministry, connected to the government, so that there are certain things, because in as much as that we speak revelations, we speak spiritual knowledge, we are speaking to people in a social life, in a real life. Therefore, there must be certain kind of decorum, there must be certain kind of respect and honor and social knowledge that must be transferred within us in the pulpit. So I will start doing that very soon. I'm just appointed this month. Maybe with my new position, they will listen to me. So I will propose that, because I have been training pastors. I've been training men of God for the past 23 years. People come to my Bible school. Yes, I've trained them. Yes, I've ordained them. Yes, I have given them license and things like that. They are going to start a ministry. They just go to Register General and register and start a ministry. No, it shouldn't be like that.
Why should it
after
not?
You have been trained, after you have been given license, you want to register your church. You will need to go to take a license to operate a church from Christian bodies.
But who authorizes you to get the license?
We have an organizations that I'm affiliated with. Okay, we are affiliated with several organizations, maybe Pentecostal Council and also international ministries that also give us the certifications and things like that. But as it is now, governor does not even have a system. We don't Christian bodies, because we don't have a strong, system being recognized and things like that. We don't have those bodies.
In Rwanda, for example, General Paul Kagame says that if you don't have a first degree, you have no business starting a church.
Yeah, to even preach and things like that.
What would you say to that?
First degree can be from religious studies,
right,
and things like that.
It doesn't matter
the field, but at least going to school is enough for you to have enough knowledge. Nobody wake up to just start any company organization without training and without certification. Nobody. Why only the church? And the church, we are dealing with people. We are dealing with people's social life, people's intellectual life. Do you know that there are very powerful educationalists that sit in church and follow certain directions that it will shock you?
Because you invoke spirituality.
That's it.
And common sense flies out.
That's it. So there must be certain kind of regulation. There must be certain kind of knowledge for us to be able to come into a formation that is very, very impactful. Or else everybody will have his own way. The same thing that we are saying. The problem we are complaining now. We can have a center that regulates the system. Oh, Kwate, you want to start a church? This is the regulation. Do this, do this. If you do this, if you don't do this, we can revoke your church. We can ask you to come back. How come that we don't have that? And that's why everybody, I'm a prophet, I'm a man of God. So I believe that the spirituality is there. I believe in spirituality. I work in that. The Spirit of God is subject to the prophet. So I know, but there must be system. There must be regulation. The same way every other aspect of our life, every other aspect is regulated. We need to have a regulation. We need to have a system. When we have a system, then we'll be able to now, speak to people. Now you can even call somebody right now. If a pastor is messing up, doing all kinds of things, who is going to call? Look at in about 3 years ago or something of that sort. It took the IGP to bring laws to help churches not to prophesy in a certain manner. How? And archbishops and bishops and papas of the land and fathers of the land, we were here. And an IGP is the one bringing the law.
Because most of you were being lawless, actually.
That is the point. Because we are not under anybody.
No, because some people have also refused to join the groupings that can call them to order.
Because the groupings is not a regulated body.
I don't understand.
It's not a commissioned body. This is a group of people who have started their own. So I have a choice to join or something.
So they have registered that?
Oh yeah, they have registered.
So once they've registered that
in a company. So it's like a ministry. Okay, so if you like, you join. It's like going to church. You go to what you like, and you can't force me. But if the government have come into a certain kind of agreement with all these organizations, okay, from now every pastor is compulsory. Go and join. Be part under a body, so that when we want to reach you, we know where to call, who should call. If you are charismatic, go and join the charismatic organization. Is that too much for us to do?
Okay, we have to go. Our time is up. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
His Excellency Bishop Samuel Ben Owusu.
Appreciate.
We're grateful.
This is your grandpa. Is it your own that is in charge or what?
No, it's a brand on its own.
Okay.
Yes,
wow. Thank you for the time.
Pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much indeed.